This is gone. This is about to go. This is going to go. I think the better choice for you, instead of running from here, bouncing, trying to make it over here, I think the better choice for you would have been to have down the Fang, hook her in this corner, and defend everything from here back. Oi, 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 YouTube. It is good to see you. I hope you guys are doing well, unclenched your jaw and had your water. If you didn't know, you can go to discord.gg/DylanKG, submit your own gameplay and unlisted YouTube video to our DVD match review section. We'll take a look at it live on stream, just like today's video. This is a Blight player who obviously has practiced Blight and understands the mechanical nature of how Blight should be played and is really trying to hone in on those skills. But in doing that, it seems like they forgot how to control the map and how to put pressure and where to put pressures in the right area of the map, over chasing, and things get out of control pretty quickly. I'm excited for this one because I think there's a lot of good information here, but again, big kudos, big props to that Blight player for coming out and just trying to show us and trying to improve. It takes a lot to put yourself out there in front of this many people to watch, so I hope you guys like this video. Give them some compliments down below. Do you ever do any of this stuff? I'll be praying to the entity to see you guys, of course, in the next video. Blight, they definitely got that icon pack I actually really like. It reminds me of old NES games. Okay. What is our resolution here? So it looks like we are going to be on Azerov's. Okay. We got Barbecue Tinkerer, Pop, and Shadowborn. Shadowborn's often used with Blight to get just that like extra flick. So let's kind of see what happens here. Odd choice to go for the wall for the bounce. I think that's just like a time and effort thing. I think I get your intent, right? Because if you bounce here, you get less out of each token than bouncing here. So that makes sense. On a lot of walls, if this is the wall and you do this, this angle is not enough for collision, but this angle is. In a lot of cases like this stuff will actually slide you along the wall. So it just takes experience and time to learn what walls are going to work. And that's the same for the rocks here. Be careful of that too. Yeah, and it's definitely possible you were just going for the tree, which, you know, once you master that stuff, awesome. Yeah, the rock is literally what slid you off the tree. So rocks and walls are big spooks, but no big deal. Nothing lost. No, no. All right, so let's break down what happened there. I think honestly, in my opinion, in my head, I'm like, God damn, she like kind of came out of nowhere. Let's see though. All right, so nope, didn't want to do that. I think the general idea here was you thought she was just gonna keep running left and then she dips right. Not a lot to say here in terms of like what you need to do. Besides just observe instead of assume. And that's one thing I think that we are. I think as like DBD players, I think when you're looping and stuff, it's always like, I think they're going to do this. And then you just act on like what you think they're going to do instead of acting on what they actually do and reacting. I think we kind of start to preset what we're going to happen or what we think is going to happen. So I think maybe the assumption was maybe she's walking and she has sprint burst. And so she's going to sprint burst away. And so we went left. So this is like a small thing, but if this builds up and becomes like a pretty consistent thing, then this will be tough. We'll see what happens though. Solid attempt, no matter what. Really solid attempt. Good moonwalk. Ooh, sweet hit on Adam. There we go. Like to see it, like to see it. All right. Because of the resolution of this, if you guys do submit and record, please try your damnedest to make it 1080 because this stuff is fuzzy. Locked on the inside of a tile, not always the best place to be in, but getting that pallet out of the way is just, it's very important. That middle section of Azerov can be dirty. Good attempt at the hit there. The one thing I've seen with Blight, because I am by no stretch of the imagination a pro Blight player, but one thing I think you could have tried to do, and honestly, it was fair assumption they could have thrown the pallet, but you could have tried to bounce in here and then go in. If this is a hyper optimal team, they'll try to save this pallet for a moment where it's more dire of a situation. So you could have bounced here and then gone. That gen being in the middle is going to be really hard to make any of those bounces work. So it's neither here nor there. And I don't know that that's like the quote unquote right call, but that's something you could have tried if that hadn't occurred to you potentially. So really solid attempt at like sliding in. If they pre-drop the pallet, you insta break it with your ability anyway. So it's not a big deal. Let's see if they got a dead hard. They don't. They are calm spirit gamers through and through. Ooh, okay, so we know we got a flashlight saver, and then somebody's in on the gen. Yeah, that's exactly what I would kick the shit out of that gen. Good job. You prioritize the survivor over kicking the gen, and you'll get to the gen in due time. Smart. That's exactly what I would do. Go ahead and get that health state and then follow up on it. Blight is really good at getting the hit and then following up immediately after. Your flicks are like, it's very evident that you've worked on your flicks in a way where you've done a lot of practice, you've done a lot of research, you've watched a lot of very good, not just like players who are good and happen to play Blight sometimes, but very good Blight players. You're obviously paying a lot of attention. Ooh, are we going to over mind game this? Little bit. We've wasted a little time here. This is tough. That pallet staying down, I think, might bite you a little bit later, too. Yeah, insane flick. I can't imagine what your DPI might be. See, it seems heavily sporadic. Yeah, I don't think... There's not many worlds where you can hit that. That's pretty similar to like a Billy curve where the distance between you and the survivor has to be much closer, and you have to hope that they don't throw the pallet early. That's just something you kind of learn with experience. Assessing the situation before bouncing. Good job. Nancy just keeps kissing this wall twice in a row. Good job. Not too bad. One thing I'll just point out preemptively is just, oh, this girl's about to get it. That's a dead heart if I could guess. But the one thing I do want to point out, I think that your instincts to go for crazy flicks are really good. It's just dialing that in and knowing and dialing in the knowledge of like what flicks are possible in the moment. Because like in your head, you're like, I know I can make this hit in this at this tile, but it seems like the judgment of where the survivor is still isn't 100% dialed in. So you're like, oh, we're at the truck. I've seen people hit crazy truck loops. I know how to do this. The only thing you forgot to look at is how far is the survivor? Are they going to make it around the other side? So there's like, I think just like a tiny piece of the puzzle is missing, but like you're really high level with how you're thinking about it, which I can really appreciate. Ah, it's a dead heart. I called that shit. Good job slugging. This girl's a little cracked. Well, I don't think she's cracked, but damn the sprint burst. All right. Hopefully we internalize who's got what. See, this is kind of what I'm talking about. I think we're making assumptions about where people are instead of just being like, instead of knowing and operating and reacting, we're guessing. And I think that's putting us in a weirder spot than we need to be. Kind of putting us in a spot to overuse the ability probably more than it needs to. Everybody's fairly close or one's in a locker, so. You looked for a survivor to be sure nobody was there. That's smart. We do know the Fang is close enough, but we don't know where. We have to assume she's Iron Will. Maybe behind the tires you just passed, if I'm being honest. Ooh. The scratches kind of just fade, huh? Did they slow vault the win? No, they keep going. See, I can't tell at 720p. I'm just looking at dirt. I don't know. All right. It's better for you to be on this side of the map because this is where more of your gens are. They've already busted the potential 3 on the other side. And we do see blood. There's no world. That was so cool. But if she's a good survivor, no way. No, that's 2 people on that gen. I would not go for that gen. I would not go for that gen. Oh my God. For a multitude of reasons. Yeah, that gen is so far. You don't make it. Okay, so I think this is a colossal mistake. And I'll kind of explain why. So this map is, it's eye-shaped, right? For lack of a more descriptive way of saying it. So it's eye-shaped. And I'll kind of go over this a little bit with like a little yellow so we can see it. Okay, so this is eye-shaped. So if I'm not mistaken, they already got this gen done. This is Shack. And this gen's got a lot of progress. And this gen's Tinkerer procced. And then you have middle, 1, 1, and then I think you have just 1 more. So this is kind of how the map is like set up, if I'm not mistaken. This is gone. This is about to go. This is going to go. I think the better choice for you, instead of running from here, bouncing, trying to make it over here, I think the better choice for you would have been to have downed the Fang, hook her in this corner, and defend everything from here back. Because now what's going to happen is this Fang is going to sit on a gen while you chase somebody here. This one's going to go still. And you might get a hook here, but then this is gone, and your ability to defend all of these becomes weaker. I just think it would have been better to stay on this side of the map at this point. Just concede that this side is gone and work with what you got. We'll see kind of how this pans out. But I think the lack of like 3-genning and just kind of being like, yes, Blight is fast. Does that mean that you can get away with, you know, absolutely trying to just be all over the map? Like you could. Should you force yourself to? Absolutely not. The 3-gen is just stronger with Blight because now he's bouncing between those generators, you know, 10 times faster than the average killer, right? So I don't know that I'd come back here. I think this is a pretty big misplay. Especially without like Hex Ruin or something like that. Yeah, we don't even know where this person went. So for all we know, they hid behind a rock, and then when you walk away, they just finish the gen. This one's gone. Good hit there. That was a really solid bounce, though. Yeah, he doubles back. And then are we just going to go to the other gen? Yeah. So, like, we've just wasted a ton of time for almost nothing. Good attempt. They were already gone, but good attempt. And that is the Atom. If he's smart, he goes right. Yeah. The pallet's still down, too. I don't know if he knows that, but... Really solid bounce. Ooh! Yep, and there's the Fang. There's the Fang in that back corner, kind of what we talked about earlier. Really solid. If that Tinker is 2 people, that's gone before... Oh, no, no! You were too fast! You have really good bounce knowledge, but there's just, like I said, small tweaks. Bill had really very good medkit. Yep. And see, what's happening now is your 3-gen on this side of the map, like if we go back to the sort of iframe. So what's happening now is, in terms of the iframe, right? In terms of this, if these are your gens, this one's gone, this one's gone, this one's gone. I'm sure people are on the middle one, and then this one's about gone. And that's it. That's 5, baby. So I think you're spending too much time where gens are done, kind of in this sort of area. Like, let this one go and pressure where gens are. I think that's where the efficiency is kind of going out the door a little bit. People talk a lot about map pressure in DBD, but map pressure is also something that you create. Some killers intrinsically have it, but map pressure is something you also create by forcing survivors to group up on gens, be in disadvantageous areas. Right now, chasing away from where the majority of your generators are is alleviating any potential map pressure you would have. I mean, you're vaulting this window literally polar opposite of where people are. And I think, so I think a lot of your like Blight mechanical stuff, like you'll learn the mechanical skills over time. And while I think that's all well and good, if we're not being very conscientious of where our gens are, then I think that none of the mechanical skill is going to be that good. If that makes sense. So like right now, I'd be willing to bet before you get to a hook, Tinkerer goes off on another gen. Not to mention, yep, there it goes. Not to mention the fact that the gen you kicked earlier isn't regressing anymore. I'd be willing to bet that that has already been tapped. Yep, yeah, it's tapped. It's not regressing anymore. That was a really good hook. Yep. So this is it. Like, so here's the scenario you now find yourself in. That gen is like 90%. This gen, 75%. That's without Tinkerer. Is it 70 or 75? It might be 70. Eat my ass if I'm wrong. And then Tinkerer just popped on a gen behind you. This is a moment. There are so many moments, but this is a moment where you just look at yourself and you go, I'm actually fucked. I'm just railed. I just got fucked. Like that's all you can say to yourself is I just got fucked. And that's because you spent so much time on this side of the map that you weren't pressuring other generators. You weren't scaring people away from generators. And in a lot of cases, don't get it twisted. In a lot of cases, there would be a lot of people that are going to say, oh, you should have brought Ruin, or you should have brought this. This build works very well on Blights. Top tier Blights, great players. But it was where you chased. The mechanical skill will come, but a mediocre Blight that 3 gens would is better than a mechanically skilled Blight who, well, I don't know about that. That's a Blight is very strong. Anyway, I think your mechanics are great, but I think that 3-genning and thinking about where you're chasing would have saved you here, even if you had a lack of mechanics. Does that make sense? Like, lack of map knowledge and where to pressure and lack of like really high level mechanics, tough. But if you got the map knowledge, where to 3-gen, you may not 4K every match. You may not have 4K'd here, but you would have done, I think, a little bit better. If you'd stayed back at the LT while the Fang, hooked her, caught people coming in, and just kept that locked down, I think this match would have gone 7-8 hooks, you know, even if you didn't get any kills really confirmed. Now, that being said, the match isn't over. I might eat my words. We're not even halfway through. But I think this is important. The build did use Deliverance. Absolutely did. Which means he may also be running D-Strike. Oh, yeah, he has D-Strike for sure. Yeah, he wants your attention so fucking bad. Do not pick him up. Do not pick him up. Here we go. Here we go. We know she has Dead Hard. Remember, she Dead Harded earlier. So always remember, like, if you can, we know Bill has Sprint Burst. We know she has Dead Hard, and Nancy has nothing because she just keeps kissing walls. So keep that in the back of your head too. Remember, like, oh, that's Fang, and then don't swing. I make these mistakes too. This could have just been a mistake. Trust me, I fucked that up a lot, but really good mind game. This is a hit for sure, unless she has Dead Hard. Okay. I think she Dead Harded earlier when she kind of miffed that 360. Now you could absolutely hook her, but at this point, I think one of the gens goes. Actually, this one slowed down more than I thought it did. Okay. If I were to predict, I'm going to say like a 2K out of this. The slug pressure is really good here. For all the sort of mistakes that we've had, they also made a significant mistake here by the Bill going down right next to the Fang. Ooh, ballsy Nancy, ballsy Nancy. She's got BT for sure. She wants to take a hit. Solid. Bill got picked up, though. I don't know that there was a lot you could have done about Bill, to be honest. I don't think you could have picked him up. If this guy's got... Ooh, that's a Dead Hard. So for those of you that don't know... God, that was fucking dirty. He did it to you, man. Jesus. So for those of you that don't know, if your survivor is ran up against a window, and you swing, and they just stand there, they Dead Harded. But because they're up against a wall, they make no animation. So they just get invincibility frames, and then they slow vault the window, which is a lot smarter than trying to get the vault on the window, potentially taking a hit and going down. It's better just to use the Dead Hard, and when the killer's in their animation recovery, then that's what happens. So this Dead Hard, fucking top tier. I know this is, I'm reviewing the killer. I'm rooting for you all the way. This Adam fucking got you, though, and this shit gets me, too. He goes, huh, and then gets you. Damn! Let's see what happens, though. It's not over. This Adam actually kind of fucked up. You broke away to check the gen real fast. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. No, yes, no! I think there's a little bit of pressure and nervousness that's kind of getting to you now. The swing at the window without being close enough to connect. He got you. Okay, why? Okay, hold on. I have questions for you. Why are we giving him the fast vault every vault? What is happening? Why? What's the why? Why? He's getting the fast vault every time. So this is the L and the T wall structure right here. And then we'll do the windows. Boop. Boop. And we'll do the windows. The optimal way for a survivor to run this is to run in, right? Vault the window. Go around. Vault the window. And do this. And if a killer goes... Then the survivor can just keep fast vaulting, right? The way to cut this off from a killer perspective is the next time they get this fast vault and try to go in this way, instead of going around the outside, you cut to the inside. In some cases, what this will force the survivor to do is vault the window, go around the outside, try to vault the window again, or run this suboptimally. Now, in obviously this case, if you had done this on the T wall, right? So if you had run this way, what the Atom more than likely would have done would be to vault this and then link it to the window that's over here in the jungle gym and go this way, right? So you would have wanted to actually wait, and I'm going to delete everything here. And then, so let him get the fast vault here, right? And try to cut him off as he goes for this one. So cut off this way. He goes for the fast vault. Now he's got to go left. And then you chase him this direction. That would have been the play. But just running around the outside, giving the fast vault each time, we're just wasting daylight here, kids. Now, I think you're going to go for this gen. Nope, we're just giving him fast vaults. Yeah, we're just granting him 3 wishes. He is, to be fair, this setup that he has is the nastiest fucking thing I've seen in a long time. Fucking Fang, okay. Is this a last minute attempt at a D-strike? Ooh, okay, I see the cheekiness. Yeah, okay. So literally, like, might get a few extra hooks because they're greeting and memeing and trying to get some points and doing whatever, but not enough pop to go around, unfortunately. Your best bet's to chase the Atom. You don't get there before this is over. I don't think, anyway. Ooh, I'm wrong. That's a 90 fucking 9% gen, though. Pick her up. Actually, because I don't know. Yeah, I think you made the right call. I think my instinct is to pick her up. I think I would have resigned myself to a fucking giant L here, but this isn't bad. So on your moonwalks at L's, so what I would do is right here. When he's going around the corner, I would have pushed a little bit further forward with my red stain, so I would have inched a little bit further forward. What this is going to do, this is the L wall that we're at. This is the window. This is the killer, right? This is you. And this is Nerd Survivor, who's across the wall. So your red stain, it looks like this, right? The Survivor sees that and goes, ah, fuck. And they're like, I got to vault the window, all right? So I would have shown your red stain, and then I would have just moonwalked and caught him as he vaulted the window. But the thing about this is you do have to make it convincing. You have to show a significant amount of the red stain. And I think you were very close to that, but you went a little too far forward. Like, you went, like, almost all the way around. Like, fuck, you did go around, right? You went all the way around, right? I wouldn't round the corner per se. I would, and I don't know if you're aware of this mind game or not. We have a whole video on our YouTube channel about mind games and the best ones to use for killer and the best practices. But I would have stopped like, right, boom. I would have stopped here and then doubled back. This is enough for most survivors to be like, ah, fuck this, I'm out, and to want to vault the window. And then you double back, you catch them, done, easy, you know? But you went around and then we're like, oh no, and then went back. So, yeah, there we go. We're cutting them off. We're not giving them fast vaults anymore. I wouldn't vault L wall T walls. I just wouldn't. They're so easy to mind game that it's, I think, a colossal waste of time to vault them. I was playing against Seg, my mod, the other day, and he would vault L wall T walls, and it never caught me off guard ever. It's too easy to see around those corners. This might be a pallet stun. What the fuck? Okay. You had options for pallet stun or flashlight save. You opted for the dumber choice. Okay. Weird. That's another Tinkerer. Yeah, I think at this, yeah, yep. That's middle gen. That's exactly where the Atom was. So not bad. I mean, you ended up pulling it back, and to be fair, you did make some choices that like I maybe would have fucked up, and you didn't pick up the Nancy. You slugged her, and oh god, this Fang is a demon. She is very good at doubling in on you. Let's see what happens here. Might be able to get a kill, like a 1K out of it. I think the lack of kind of mind games and map knowledge is the thing to work on. I think Blight mechanical skill is something you're going to work on a lot. And I think you have like a solid foundation for that. But I think in the pursuit of learning Blight specifically, we didn't stop to think about what other knowledge we don't have, right? So that's how mind games like that kind of end up going a little bit south. And we whiff hits, right? So, Jesus. Oh, God. I was so dreadfully close. That is so deeply okay, hold on. What's working, what's not? That is so deeply, deeply saddening. I will say, cars don't have collision with Billy or with Blight. So bouncing off of a car is generally not something you want to, like, resign yourself to doing. Ooh. Good. Oh, you got stuck on the barrel. That would have been so good. Go around. When it comes to jungle gyms, you just want to go around it. Yeah, we're getting a little lost in the sauce here. Oh! Flashlight save? Damn, I kind of expected one. Not bad. She is saucy. You don't hit that door. I'm not sure. Are we just trying to cut Nancy off before she makes a door? I would have just hit Nancy. Is Adam also lost in the sauce? I mean, this guy's been... That is a good fucking bounce. Good shit, matey. Well, I think Adam goes down here too. Getting a spicy 2K out of it because Adam's head was in his ass. I mean, to be honest with you, he should have been out the door being injured. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was playing quite a bit out of pocket there. So be very careful you're not throwing by going for Nancy here. No, the burl. Damn. Oh. Accidental throw. I think you threw. I think because you've wasted enough tokens now that you might be able to, I mean, they can't body block because you can blaze pretty far past them. Good job on that. Good down. Solid stuff. Yeah, they can't really body block you in. I don't know if I would worry about this pallet at this point, but no. Oh my God. Woo! When I tell you my asshole puckered. That was something right there. Good stuff there. Second hook. I mean, you ended up like getting decent amounts of hooks. I think a lot of it came out of their greed, not out of your own optimization. So while there's something to take pride in here, there is really good foundational stuff. I think the best thing to do, and we'll kind of see what do they. Oh shit. Yo, Nancy healthy as fuck. It sounded like I was like, yo, Nancy healthy, like she thick. No, she was just healthy. That's all it was. Oof. Fuck! You're playing with the hottest of fire right now. This is a D-strike for sure. Tunneling doesn't pay, kids! Not that you had many choices because Nancy disappeared as you started to bounce. Could have been a 2K. But it was 9 hooks. So what I would work on is 3-genning and knowing when you're chasing out of your pressure points. As a killer, it's okay to go, okay, I'm going to chase you. There's no gens in this corner, so this chase needs to end in like 15 seconds. And if it goes longer than that, you need to go, I got to bounce because the majority of my gens are in a different corner, right? You can only do this, of course, if you know ahead of time where your gens are. So when you spawn in, you need to take a look and go, here's my 3-gen, here's where the cluster is, here's the furthest gens from the cluster, like fuck all of those, you know, and if you see that a 3-gen of yours gets busted very early because of, you know, unfortunate spawns or something like that, and that'll happen, then you need to learn to like flex and go like, okay, well, here's a not as great 3-gen, but we're going to try this instead of just trying to be all over the map, right? Because I think your instincts are very good. And I think the Feng is decent, but I think that you would have caught them tripping up a lot more had they just been corralled into a corner that they had burned all the resources in. Running that middle or running Shack over and over is pain. quite honestly. Whereas if earlier in the match, I think somewhere around here, if we had just chased the Fang Min around the LT wall that she was at, I think that you would have ultimately probably rocked that game a lot harder, right? Like here, we're still on. You spent most of the match on this side of the map, even though, like I said, I don't think that was like the play. So yeah, I think that had you chased Fang Min on that side and stopped that gen from going, I think that would have been so much stronger for you as a killer. And then just work on mind games. Learn the optimal pathings for how survivors are going to run these tiles, and don't give them those fast vaults. And if you see that there's a dirty link, LT, jungle gym, just don't even chase people around that area. Try to go pressure gens that are in worse areas. Like I said, this gen's near an LT wall. This is near that crummy main building. This is near like a pallet structure that has like one pallet, right? These are all significantly weaker areas. It would be better to, in the early game, to chase here, down the Fang, hook there, so that you can keep pressure in that area instead of pressuring this middle area where they just get to use windows over and over and over and over and over. So anyway, so, I think you did very well. I don't want this to be a negative experience. I think you did very well. I think you have really good foundations for Blight, and I think it's obvious you pay a lot of very close attention to how to play Blight, and what Blight players are doing, like the higher tier of Blight players. So I 100% would have. I think you did a lot of good stuff there.